In everything I've ever put my hands to, everything I've tried, I have never been the most gifted, the most intelligent, the most talented, the most promising, and believe it or not, even the most good looking. I'm a bit of a slow learner. And most of the time when I'm trying something new, I'm at the back of the queue in terms of how quickly I pick it up. That relates to learning new things at work, in the classroom, on a sports field, whatever the stage, I'm generally a slow learner. So much so that people underestimate me all the time. I've reached that stage where I can read it on their faces. But one quality I've always had, that I've continued to nurture, to grow, to invest in, is that I'm persistent. People who like me and have seen me tackling a project will say I've got grit. People who don't like me and see me tackling exactly the same project will say, this guy's arrogant, he's stubborn, he's a troublemaker. Go figure. So how did I get my persistence, my grit, my stubbornness? And how has this quality informed the animal that I am today? Part of it I inherited. My grandmother nurtured me. She planted the seed of self-belief. She let me know through her service, through her actions, that I'm lovable, that I'm worthy of value, that I matter, and that my thoughts and my feelings were important to her. Second, I got my father's DNA. He lived a courageous life. He never gave up. He fought the good fight from the day he was born, even when the circumstances were stacked up against him. Ultimately, my dad followed his own path, and despite his mistakes, he never bowed to the crowd. My grandmother and my father are probably the two people who've contributed the most to my persistence. But as I said earlier, I've had to nurture it and grow my grit in my own life. I remember the first time I fearfully stepped out to do public speaking. I was 10 years old. I remember training hard to get into the first team soccer at high school, studying hard and getting great results in my A-levels, then my PhD, lecturing at a business school for the first time, starting and building a new business from scratch. In all these ambitions, there were hurdles to overcome, and I had no choice but to hold firm and persist. Mr. Mac Learning took 5 years to get going. So many battles, many small, some big, that all required persistence. So I'm a determined bugger. It may not be obvious on the surface, but I can take punishment. I can make big sacrifices to achieve something I believe in. And if I start doing something, I'm bloody well going to finish it. That quality of persistence, that character trait has made all the difference, because most people simply don't persevere. They won't, or they can't sacrifice the blood and the treasure to get things done. And because of that, they give up and they fail. Now, the good news for you is, if you've got the power of persistence, if you live it, you automatically eliminate 90% of the competition. 90%. And if you blend that with inventiveness, with innovation, with hard work, good character, street smarts, hey, then maybe, just maybe, you could pull off what you're dreaming. It comes down to persistence and being prepared to pay the price to achieve your goals.